Hi, this is Stacia, and I'm going to share my latest training game on chess.com. This one, I faced a much higher rated opponent, 150 points higher. 1829 is his rating, so definitely nervous coming into it, but I do feel my chess is improving, so I have a chance to beat players like this. So here I played a new move on move 1, d5. I guess I've been doing that a lot the last few years. I've only been playing 5 years, so maybe I'm crazy. But d5, and my idea is that if they try to play the London system like this, okay, I used to play knight f6 first. Now I play d5 first. And after this move, I used to play bishop f5, but what I found is that the position got uncomfortable after the move c4. And then if I just go e6, they can go queen b3. This actually gets quite uncomfortable, and I've elected to not play this way anymore. Like oftentimes I don't even know if this is good, but a lot of times they get this in and it clamps the position. And I don't like those positions, basically. So I've elected to not do that anymore. And instead, if they go here or here, I play the move c5 early. And if they go here or here, I can go into my old lines without worry of c4, queen b3 ideas, because these moves basically don't allow it. So, okay, c5. My opponent played c3, typical London system move, defending his d-pawn. And now I thought, hey, maybe I can play bishop f5. Now there is still queen b3, but I feel like without c4 it doesn't have the same punch. I could be wrong. Let's actually check the opening book, because this is new territory for me. It says play knight c6 here. Bishop f5 is not a move at all. So probably I won't play this way again. Knight c6, yeah. Okay, now I have to wonder what happens if they take and try to do this. It says go e5. Of course. Without a d-pawn defending this square, we can thrust in the center, create the pawn duo. This must be good for black. What if they go here, though? Is this a move? It says black. Oh, the bishop's hanging. Sorry, you guys. Okay. All right, so let's continue. So bishop f5 is actually a mistake. I think next time I'll go knight c6. But I don't think it's unplayable or anything. Now it says white should take. He did not do this. But here I was planning e6. Can he go b5? Or b4 rather? I guess he can do this. And if I go a4, it says takes, and after takes, play check. This is a little uncomfortable. Yeah, I would go knight d7 here. It says king e7 is better. Wow. Because queen d4. So queen d4, this move centralizes the queen, and it inhibits my development because of the observation of the g7 square. Now if I go to play a move like bishop e7, it will be met by queen takes g7. So that is pretty annoying. I can't even play g6 because queen takes h8. So, I was not aware of this line at all. That's new to me. It's just amazing to me that I can look at chess for years, like every day for years, and see new stuff every time I play it. What a crazy game. Okay, anyway, let's go back. Bishop f5. He played this normal looking move though. He could have punished me with pawn takes pawn, but knight f3 and I went e6. I'm going to turn the engine off. I want to come to my own conclusions. And you guys can judge my conclusion, and then I'll turn the engine on. How's that sound? Yeah, queen b3. I was expecting this in a way, but I wasn't all that afraid of it. I thought here I could play queen b6, and who cares? Because this pawn's on c3, not c4. So I don't have to fear the lines where he plays c5 and clamps me on the queen side, like those lines. So I play queen b6. So let's ask the engine. I'm going to say that this is fine for black and that queen b6 is the best move. Okay, it is fine for black, but queen c8 is the best move. Queen b6 is okay, but an edge for white. After queen takes queen, a takes. Queen c8 is a move I've seen before. But it's kind of sad to me. One thing, for example, is that often I like the queen on d8 to support this move. But I guess when the pawn's on c5, this move isn't as desirable because it could be met by this. And then we have to lose a tempo. So maybe queen c8 is saying we weren't going to do this anyway. Yeah, makes sense. Yeah, okay, queen c8. All right. Queen b6 though. I guess the double pawns are not that great, but I don't mind this structure that much. I guess the move to fear is bishop b5 check, because if knight here, knight e5, attack the pin knight. But I don't think this amounts to much. I think it's okay. All right, so let's look. In the game, he did not take my queen. Instead, he played knight e5. Probably planning bishop e5 check. And here it says I should play c4. Did I do that? No, I took the queen. I really thought about playing c4 because that's like the opposite of the positions I don't like. But I also don't understand them very well, so I was afraid I wouldn't play it right. But if it's the best move, it's the best move. Next time I will go for this. Yeah, let's look at it for a minute. c4 takes the queen. Now, the obvious response is takes. Okay, I would take with a pawn. These positions can actually be annoying. First of all, this pawn is pinned. Second of all, once I advance this pawn, it's like my pawns on the queen side are quite annoying. Not to mention I have this if I need it. I can eliminate the knight if I don't like what it will do. The bishop supports this b4 break. Yeah, there's definitely play on the queen side. Definitely. And computer says black's slightly better here, believe it or not. Yeah, I mean, you're doubling your pawns, but you're opening your rook. So I've been favoring activity over material for the past 2 years. Of course, there's a balance to be struck, but I've been experimenting with that. So I think I like this thing. And by material, I mean like the deficit of having double pawns. Okay, but in the game, he played knight e5. So I traded queens, and I gave him this pawn structure instead. And then I played knight d7. Now, I saw bishop e5, which was played, but I have this sufficiently defended. Notice the knight on f6 is doing this job. So like a blunder would be this move, because then I lose the knight, even though it looks natural. No, he needs to defend the knight. So I encouraged the bishop to take, and I was actually thinking about this because if he were to take back, I win a bishop, which is kind of nice. But he could always insert this capture. But I actually thought if he does that, he's giving up his 2 bishops. So he won't have the 2 bishops. So this actually does happen. Yeah, so it went, oh yeah, because he did this move, g4. That looks weird to me. It can't possibly be right. It just looks too weird. Encouraging me to do bishop takes knight, but like I was saying, he's not going to secure the bishop pair out of this. Bishop takes b1, it was in fact best. Oh wow, and he could play g5 here. Didn't consider that one. You know, that was probably his idea, now that I think about it. If g5, what would I do? This looks scary. Retreat the bishop. That's probably what I would do. I cannot take here. This is pinned, by the way. So you can't do that. But, yeah, maybe for that reason I want to leave the bishop. I don't know what I would do. Maybe, rook d8 is kind of interesting because it unpins the a pawn. I probably would play rook d8. It looks weird, but it's a little bit tricky because it's like, hey, I just unpinned. Will you notice? Also, you need to recapture, so I think he would have to take something now. Like either take here or take here. Yeah, interesting approach. But actually, after I took here, he played check. And I took with the knight. Only now did he recapture on b1. Which makes sense. There's no bishop here for me to capture anymore. Yeah, and I decided to trade here. Well, I thought bishop captures, I could play f6. I know, I always tell my students never play f6, and then I play it every game. But computer approves it's the best move here. I suspected as much. The bishop must move, and now I thought king d7 might be best, and it isn't. Immediate h5 is computer's choice, which means I don't understand chess at all. I'm not developed. Why would I play h5? Let's just look at this for a minute. I don't understand. I'll pretend to be white. I would take it. It says king f7 or rook takes h5. Okay, let's say this. Now we take here. Oh, d takes c5. Oh, I see. So is white afraid of this capture? I guess it wrecks the white pawn structure. You know, I didn't consider this, but when we capture here, if they take here, now these are, you know, massively isolated. And if they take this way, you know, this is isolated. So that capture is actually interesting. Okay. So it says here, or never mind. Oh, it says take here to avoid that. But now my bishop develops with tempo. You know, like I need to recapture anyway. Now my bishop gets out. Okay. I feel like h5 is a little unnatural. If any strong players want to chime in, I'd be very interested in what you have to say about that. But I thought king d7 just looks so natural. Oh, did I take first? I don't know. I did. I took first. I guess I noticed the pawn structure thing. But okay, I mean, white has 2 pawn islands. We have 2 pawn islands. It's not as strong as when this pawn was missing. I guess that's why h5 is good. Because if they take, they don't have an island anymore. They have two isolated pawns. Interesting. So I finally understand a rook pawn move. It's been one of my weaknesses, not understanding those. Okay. King d7. How could this be bad? It's not bad. It's just fine. Black has a slight edge. Okay, so he does the same. And I challenge the bishop. Don't know if I should do this or not, to be honest, but where else can my bishop go? Computer again likes h5. Okay, he played f4. Yeah, and where do my rooks go? Very interesting question. Where should the rooks go? So, to understand where the rooks go, we have to look at what's weak. This pawn is weak, which means I want to play for an e5 break. Another thing is that this pawn is weak, but there's no way for white to attack it. So I don't have to worry about that one. But this move would be a blunder or a mistake because it would create a weak a pawn and he would quickly bring his rook to the a file. Then I would have to time my pieces down. So don't play b5. I can also play for h5. That's also possible. Even this move's interesting, but it weakens this forever. So maybe not. Yeah, so it's really all about this pawn probably. So rook a to e8, saying I'm not going to play b5. So I don't need to defend this, but maybe I'm going to push in the center. Let's see what the computer says. Computer says play h5 or f5. Wow. I don't understand chess at all. f5. Well, I kind of get it because if takes takes, that's an improvement for me. I eliminate my weakness by recapturing. So I do like that move. My opponent wouldn't do that though, I don't think. They might even push past. Let's see what happens if they do that. It says they should push past. Maybe we go h6. It says h5. Because we're menacing h4. And if we get that in and the bishop moves, we take hero check. Sneaky, sneaky computer. I like it. Okay. Let's continue though, right? I did play h5 here, which is the top computer move. Happy to know that I did that. And after takes, I took with a rook. Yeah, and I felt like I was better here, which I am. But it is a tough position. Rook f5. So I'm threatening to take that. Wow, so sorry. I must have allergies. Now I thought if rook f1, that's an awkward move. And perhaps g5 would be the appropriate response. And yeah, computer agrees, e5 or g5, because it pins the pawn. So he played this move, which is a little better. It's defended by the bishop. Yeah, and I went rook h8. Turns out that's the right move. All right, I like the way I played this game. But as usual, look at the time. My opponent had 11 minutes and I had 4. So I have got to learn to speed up. That is the biggest reason that I lose games, tournament games especially, but also training games. Okay, he doubled, but I was kind of happy to see this because it's kind of like full passive, you know? The rooks are not active there. Yeah, now it says a5, which I considered. I considered pushing my pawns up 1 square. I could do that. But if you look at my time, I had 2 minutes. This is the thing, too. I have a really bad habit of making committal moves in time pressure. And I think it's because you feel like you have no time, so the game needs to end. You know, I think that's why I feel this urge to play such a committal move. But I think I need to fight that urge in the future and maybe just hold the position or be patient. Because it's not clear that g5 is best. And in fact, it isn't best. It's okay, but it's not best. So after takes, I thought after g6, oh, I did this. I thought these pawns are weak and I'll be able to collect them. So I thought I must be better here. But it turns out, computer is saying I'm much worse after king e3. Wow. Yeah, and I didn't see that, but it's the fact that the king can park itself here, defending the pawns, blockading my pawn, more active than my king. Yeah. And c4 is a threat. This is white's pawn break that they want to get in, and they can anytime they wish. Also, he's saying, good luck attacking the g pawn, because I wanted to go king g6 and rook h5 and win this. But I cannot do that, or I drop my e pawn. So I tried this move, which I thought was interesting. I'm going to check the king from behind. And after this, I thought he might play this, but I thought king f6 is just fine because I can retreat my rook and collect that pawn. Yeah, so he went there to stop rook f1 check. And now I'm like, okay, cool, I'll go collect your pawn. So he threw in c4. I got to take that. He takes, I take. It's a little bit of an improvement, but not much. My pawns are isolated, but at least I don't have that weakness on e6, you know? So he comes in, and now I think I have to hold it. Wow, I'm surprised to see the computer says rook g4 and black is a little better. I'm surprised. Okay, I would expect this. Oh, he can't really go here, right? Because then I go rook e4 check. Yeah, this is winning. If takes, I have a pass pawn. That should be winning. I missed that idea. That's pretty cool. So, but rook g4, I mean, he's going to attack my pawns. So I played rook g7. King came up. I can check the king away. I thought we were going to have a draw here. Attack the pawn. I defended it. I'm not sure what that move does. So I went here. I'm like just menacing this, but maintaining defense of my pawn. King comes back. All right, fine. I'm going to check you. So he goes away. So I go back. I thought we were going to draw here, but now I mess up. But you can see I had 30 seconds left. I definitely was panicking a little bit. Yeah, I missed his idea of rook g5. Yep, and king f4 is next. And I don't have a way to stop this. In fact, probably king f6 is probably just wrong. No, computer likes it, but... yeah, so he won 2 pawns. Now I'm fighting for survival. Pretty much lost here, but mostly, well, I'll tell you this. He's 1800 for a reason. He played much faster than I did, and the time deficit came to tell. I don't think I would have blundered like that if I had time on my clock. So he maintained the pressure on me until I cracked. It's really that simple. Again, I felt like I had chances, but yeah, his pawn is running. Not much I can do about this. Yeah, and I like how he He maintained his rook on the 4th rank so that I don't have this trick. The skewer looks good until rook d4. And then it's like, oh. Yeah, and this is lost because there's nothing I can really do. That's a fork. So tough loss. It was almost a draw, I thought, but he played on because of the clock situation. And that's a good reminder to me that I need to play a lot faster in these training games and in tournament games. Which is funny because I play Blitz and I play it just fine usually. So, although I'm a bit weaker in Blitz. Okay, but good lesson. I am going to come back. I'm going to break 1700 again, you guys. Because my opponents have been playing tough, let's be honest. So, I will see you later. Alright, bye.